Okay, we are live.
Oh.
Yes, my people. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are in the globe. You are welcome to the Comrade Show, a special segment we call the Comrade and Friends, your darling program. Let me tender an unreserved apology for starting just about 10 minutes behind the clock. But like you know, organizing this takes a lot. Sometimes there are technical issues that we need to quickly correct. We have a big elephant in the house, and it's on set with us today to talk to you, those state people, and indeed Nigerians, of what is going on in its ministry. Today is the 8th of May, 2022, the year of our Lord. Let me also say for fans and viewers in America, I understand that today is Mother's Day. Mothers should be celebrated every day. And across North America...
Comrade Iremir, I'm not sure I can hear you. Yeah, over to you, sir.
Are we back? Lamte? Lamte, can you hear me?
Sir.
Hello?
Okay, go ahead. I can hear you now. Sorry.
Are we live?
Yes, we are live. Sorry for the interruption.
Thank you so much, my people. Sorry about the technical issues. You know, sometimes internet can be a bit unfriendly, but I want to assure that today will be nice. I was just trying to let us know that across North America, they are celebrating Mother's Day. And as peoples of the world, it's only necessary, wise, and better that we join the Americans to celebrate our dear mothers, who I dare say should and must be celebrated every day. I've said that we are indeed very sorry for starting your darling program quite late. But we have a very big elephant in the house. In the course of time, I'm going to make that introduction and we'll meet him. To our viewers, you know the drill. Your program is here. Share, and share. At some point today, we'll be opening the lines for you to ask a few questions. But just before I continue, it's only wise for me to properly introduce myself to our TV viewers. I remain your friend, your comrade, pharmacist Augustine Iremiran. And I have today the CNCs in the house. CNC, please, can you introduce yourself and let people know who you are?
Yes, those state people and Nigerians across the world, greetings to you all. It's the Comrade Show, your darling program. The one fondly called the Sunday Tonic. Please, my name is Comrade Lante Monsariahi. I want to thank you for joining us right now. And today is going to be a special day because it is the Edo State Ministry of Arts and Culture in focus. And we have the commissioner of that particular ministry that's talking of Commissioner Prince B. Obaitan, who is going to be telling us a lot about, you know, the position of Edo State Arts, Culture, and Tourism, you know, as it stands. And please, if you are joining, help share this broadcast and let's make it go global. Yes, over to you, Comrade Pharmacist Iremiran.
Thank you so much, Comrade Lante Kwosariaki, our indefatigable CNC. To our viewers, citizens, and good people of Edo State, like I said in the intro, we have the big elephant in the house. And today, we are zooming in on the Ministry of Arts, Culture, and Tourism in Edo State. And we have one of the finest and newly appointed commissioner into that very lofty and big ministry. It's just over 6 months since he's been appointed, and we hear and know that he's doing something great. But we want you to hear from his mouth. No other but our honorable commissioner. And permit me to introduce him fully as Honorable or Mr. Oluwabamidele Obaitan, Commissioner, Arts and Culture, Edo State. Can we meet you, sir?
How are you? How is everybody across the world? Greetings to all Edo-lites. You know, I'm pleased to be here, and I want to thank the Comrade Show for this opportunity to speak to fellow Nigerians, to let them know we're doing at the Ministry of Arts, Tourism, and Culture. I was blessed to get this appointment from His Excellency Governor Obaitan, and it's something I'm very passionate about. So I think this has been a good matching up to bring me in to lead this ministry. So I am Bamidele Obaitan, Honorable Commissioner Bamidele Obaitan. I hail from Edo State and from Ososo in particular.
Thank you so much for that brief introduction. For our viewers, we are going to be opening the lines at some point so that you can ask your questions. But just before I ask my question, I'm going to go back to the commissioner. I know you said you are from Ososo. We also want to know, did you school in Nigeria and all that stuff? Just to make it a bit light, a little bit more.
Actually, let me give you a quick synopsis of my life. So I was born in the UK, and then parents moved to Delaware, of all places, but then they sent me back to Nigeria. So I actually started school in Nigeria, in Uboshi, in Akoko-Edo local government area. And then second grade, my parents brought my older brother and I to the US. First year of high school, we transferred back to Nigeria. So I actually went to school and finished in ICC Benin City. That's Immaculate Conception College, Benin City, under Dr. Joseph Itoto, may his soul rest in peace. And Mr. John was our vice principal. We had Reverend Father Flanagan, okay? And then from ICC, I started school at University of Benin, pharmacy school. Second year, I transferred to Temple University. So as far as my schooling career, I did some primary school, my secondary school, and 2 years of tertiary school in Nigeria. So I'm no stranger to Nigeria, and I consider myself a Benin boy. So just so you know.
Thank you so much. I think I really like that. So you were part of my constituency. We share the same university, and you studied pharmacy for 2 years before leaving, and you went to other parts of life. That's very great. Exactly. Sometimes it's good when we do this for people to really know you better. I can say for fact from what you've said, you are truly an Edo State bred somebody, and somebody with huge diaspora experience. So our viewers will be very happy at least to meet you and to see you. I'm just going to zoom in straight to ask you this question. Like most market women, even uneducated people would ask, what is the Ministry of Art and Culture? What are they about? What do they do, Honorable Commissioner?
Well, that's a great question. If you think about culture, you know, I think we should start by looking at what is culture and what does culture mean. If you look up the definition of culture, you'll find it's the way people live. Excuse me, I'm under the weather a bit. It's the way people live. It's what they accept as their norms, their value system, and how they live, right? Now, under that definition, you also include their arts, okay? It'll include like their dance, the clothes they wear, the food they eat, right? And so for me, when I took on this position, that's the first thing I really thought about. Like, what is Edo State's culture? What do we believe in, right? Not just what do we believe, but what is the world's perception of Edo State citizens? And to my, I was a bit shocked by when you go on the internet, what you'll find, what people are thinking about Edo State, okay? So then I had to start thinking, is this how we as a people want to be perceived? And how do we go about bringing ourselves back to when I grew up in Benin City, the things that we used to accept as norms, as our values, I find that we've deviated away from that, right? You're seeing a lot of vices in our society. And so my question to myself is, how do we reorient ourselves to get back on track? How do we catch the youth early before they may get caught up in vices? How do we get them back on track? Because we are proud Edolites. We are sons and daughters of King, right? So really, we need to take a really strong look and reflect on who are we, who do we want to be, and what are we going to have as our norms and value system moving forward. So at the core of what we do I think that's where our focus is going. It's a reorientation process to put Edo back on the map. And I keep saying, taking Edo global is what we're going to do. We're going to showcase our beautiful history, our rich culture and heritage, and showcase our talents to the world, because we have a lot to offer the world. Plain and simple.
That's good. Thank you very much. And Comrade Latte also will be very happy. You have said from your ministries, everything human and everything environment. So it's a complete meeting. And in the course of your speaking to us, you mentioned something about youth. And now I will be asking you a few questions later about the youth. But you encapsulated it very well, Edones. And my sins, that's what it stands for. So, Comrade Latte Ponsa, I'll go straight to you. What will be your first question for our Honorable Commissioner?
Thank you very much, Comrade Francis Austin Eremira. Honorable Commissioner, first, I'd like to just express gratitude to you because you are joining us in transit. You were on your way from Lagos to Benin, and of course, we are aware that you are right now at the airport, not a comfortable place. Maybe sacrifice to do with us. Honestly, we treasure this. Thank you very much. And I think that people do treasure this as well for the effort you've made to be part of this. But one question I want to quickly ask you, to start with. You are a pharmacist. That is your primary constituency. And this is arts and culture. And the governor of Edo State made you the commissioner for arts and culture.
Yes.
With some of us, when your name appeared on the list, before the designation, some of us actually thought that you were going to be in the Ministry of, Health, for instance, proper fit. Some people feel, that, you being posted to the Ministry of Arts and Culture, it is not, people imagine that it may be like, a square peg put in a round hole. How comfortable do you feel being in this environment, particularly when this is not your primary constituency? I mean, talking of, career and all of that.
Well, another excellent question. So let me give you some background on me. Everybody knows me as a pharmacist. That is what I've been doing. I had my consulting license in Florida. I was president of the Nigerian Pharmacists Association of Tampa Bay. And I've been, member and delegate for many different pharmacy associations in the United States. But what people don't know about me is when I actually went to apply at UniBen, my choice as to what I wanted to do in life was theater arts. So my passion has always been in the arts. So that's the first thing. But as you know, and as my fellow Nigerians can attest to, our parents would dictate what we are going to do, because at the end of the day, they're paying for it, right? So my dad said over his dead body that I would do theater arts, that I must be a scientist. After all, I had very good grades in sciences. I was going on the science track. So what would possess me to go into theater arts? So based on my dad's putting his foot down, I ended up going to pharmacy. But after I finished pharmacy school, what a lot of people don't know is I went back and went to school for theater arts. So I'm actually a trained actor. I'm a trained dancer. I'm a trained singer. So, and I've toured with theater groups across the US. I worked with Shelley Garrett, who was the one who paved the way for people like Tyler Perry in Black comedy. So I have a very strong background in arts, theater, and culture.
Splendid.
But a lot of people don't know that.
Wow. Wow. So I quickly will rectify to say you're actually a square peg put in a square hole.
I would say so. My passion.
I am glad you've mentioned this, because it's important that the world gets to know some of these facts. It's very important, and so people can be more comfortable, dealing with you and understanding that they are dealing with somebody who knows the cuckoo in the matter.
Exactly.
Now, Honorable Commissioner, just to quickly, follow up on that, now that you are a commissioner, I know that your passion for dance definitely is not in doubt. We just you just finished a program on dance competition and all of that, and so I can see where that is coming from,
Oh, yeah.
and all of that. But beyond dance, what is your vision for the Ministry of Arts and Culture?
Well, I have what I would like to do. Sorry, guys, hold on.
Yes, viewers, please let's bear with the Honorable Commissioner. He's joining us from the airport. It's not a very convenient place, and all of that. So we may have some of these,
Sorry.
But we are glad he's live with us.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, over to you, sir.
Okay, so sorry. The question again.
Yeah, I was asking. I said, what is your vision, for the ministry?
Got it. So, I have what I would like to see come out of the ministry, but we're also under directives, and of course, I serve at the pleasure of His Excellency, the Governor of Edo State. So he has given us certain directives, and they're very strategic in nature. So right now, I have Diaspora and Affairs, Arts, Tourism, and Culture, right? So what we're doing is we're carving out the tourism agency. We're going to have a tourism agency, right? Then there's going to be a Diaspora and Affairs parastatal that's on its own. And then we have Arts and Culture, like an Arts and Culture Council. These are being done strategically. What His Excellency would like to see me focus on are policies that will drive how these agencies operate. So that's the first thing. We are in a bit of a state of flux. Now, for me, what I'm trying to do is really catalog our culture sites, our heritage sites. We're creating a calendar of festivals in Edo State. We're creating a compendium or a catalog of our foods and the different, because we have a very diverse culture in Edo State. I don't think a lot of people understand how diverse our different tribes and cultures are. And that's what really makes Edo State a microcosm of Nigeria, right? Everybody's represented in Edo State. And if you look at where Edo State is situated, it's a transportation hub. Everybody, you have to go through Edo to get from the north to the south, to the southeast, to the southwest. So Edo is strategically located. So when you think of it from that standpoint, there's a lot for us, if we're strategic, to take advantage of. So that when people are coming through Edo, what are we providing for them that they want to spend a few days or nights? When they do so, we capture their spend in Edo. So we're thinking of things along the tourism line in a very holistic manner to boost our tourism and generate revenue in that sense for Edo State. So that's one. Number two, I'm taking the ministry and we digitalize what we're doing. So for example, when I arrived, the first thing I asked is, do we have social media presence? Yes, we have a Facebook page. But there are other social media platforms we need to take full advantage of. The first one I'm going after is YouTube, because I know when I was abroad, I was always hungry for Edo content. I can't tell you how many times I'll go on YouTube to see what's going on in Benin. And there are different people who are taking advantage of this platform. And they're generating revenue that way. So we are about to launch our own ministry YouTube channel. And on that YouTube channel, we're going to load Edo State content. We're going to feature Edo State talent, content creator, and artists. And by the time we get enough subscription, we can actually generate revenue from the YouTube platform. So that's another thing we're doing. We're going to sell Edo talent and Edo, showcase Edo talent and musicians and artists to the world. So that's something else we're doing. You will see this year that we're working on certain festivals. We're going to bring Edo Fest first back. Now, think about it. The former Commissioner Iro, gave us a very solid foundation to build on. He did a lot of good in this ministry, and I'll be remiss if I did not recognize Commissioner Iro for all his successes with this ministry. So I have reached out to him, and we're going to bring back Edo Fest. We're going to do NAFest. There's some other things that I'm working on that I'm not at liberty to disclose quite yet. But I think by the time Edolites worldwide see what we're bringing to Edo, you'll be pleased and you'll be proud. So let me just stop there for now.
Thank you so much, Honorable Commissioner. I just want to remind our viewers, I don't know if Correlante, you have it, our number. If anybody wants to make a call to speak with the Honorable Commissioner, they are welcome. Thank you so much. There's something you said that I like. Not many people will reach out to those before them to ask a thing or two. And to hear and to learn, to reach out to the former commissioner, Ero, and you are in discussion with him, and even thinking of how to move some of his lofty dreams forward is absolutely commendable. I want to say that you should keep that going. I think that is very, very good. My question will be a little deviation. I don't know if you visited the Akenzwa, the second cultural center, just around at the beginning of Airport Road. There is information that that very good edifice has been under lock and key for a very long time, and it's not been utilized. In fact, the question I'm about to ask was posed by our Muscatia, Dr. Tony Agbons, who is unavoidably absent today. He has asked me to ask, what's your plan and what is the situation with Oba Akenzwa's second cultural center in Airport Road?
Okay, from what I know, that's correct. It's under lock and key. But again, I would not be able to answer that question fully because I don't quite know what is the plan for that center as of now. You know, I'm still early. I only got sworn in on my birthday, March 11th. So there's things that I still am researching and looking into that I don't yet have the answers for, and that would be one of them. So if you give me maybe another month or two, maybe I can come back to you with a complete answer that will satisfy the question.
Thank you so much, my Honorable Commissioner. Once again, your honesty is infectious, and I must congratulate you because it's not good enough to just say what you don't know just to please the people. You are very
exactly.
Testament of what a complete pharmacist, a dancer, a singer should really do. I'm going to have a follow-up question quickly, still just following from what Correlante asked. Sometimes during your swearing in, if I'm not mistaken, Governor Baseki made a statement. I don't know if I'm saying it very well, but I think it might be on your swearing in. And he said, to make Edo State Art and Culture capital of Nigeria. The governor said, I think in your inauguration. So what else do you agree with that statement? And what is the plan to really make it happen?
Okay, I lost some of the words in that question. You say he made it.
What I was saying is that
comment pharmacist. Sorry, I just want to interject. You have a caller, you called for calls, and calls have started coming in. So I don't know if you want to take the call first before you.
Yeah, let's take the call. Let's take the call. This is people's show.
What's your name, sir? Where are you calling from?
My name is Pastor Edison.
Pastor Edison. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from London.
Go ahead, sir. Commissioner can hear you.
Yeah, Honorable Commissioner. Yes. The Honorable Commissioner said he mentioned about the diaspora agency. I just want to know if the Honorable Commissioner is going to be occupying two offices, as in be the Commissioner of Art and Culture and also the Director General of Diaspora, Diaspora. And if that be, what are your plans for Edo Diaspora? If I get your explanation rightly, so that is why I'm asking such questions.
Okay.
I'll start.
Thank you very much, Pastor Edison. I don't quite I hear that the commissioner says something about the diaspora agency, but you can answer the question, Honorable Commissioner.
I think the commissioner got the question right.
Did you get it, sir? No, I got the question. So the question had to do with the status of the diasporan affairs parastatal and whether I would be occupying two positions. So So to address that directly, no, I will not be. They've already interviewed for a director general for the diaspora agency. So there will be someone who will head up that agency. Now, I will still have those parastatals under my ministry, which right now we're looking at maybe renaming the Ministry of Culture. And under Ministry of Culture, we would have Diaspora Affairs, tourism agency, and then Arts and Culture Council. So again, they will be under my purview, and we will be driving the policies as to how they operate. So again, this is strategic in nature to make the setup more sustainable moving forward. So I hope that answers the question.
So just as a follow-up, what you're explaining is that your office as a commissioner for culture, your responsibility will be to be drafting policies for the agencies. Can you hear me, Honorable Commissioner?
Okay, you froze up. So I say that again, please.
Okay, now if I understand what you're saying correctly, and that by the time the agency start running,
yes,
your own office will be in charge of policy, for the agencies. And
exactly.
The agency will be implementing policies created by the ministry.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah, just as a follow-up, Honorable Commissioner, we can't wait for that agency and the director to be named. If there's anything you can do with your power to make that happen, please do, because that would be a bridge between the diaspora, of course, of which you are a part of, and now you are in Edo State. It will be important for that to happen sooner rather than later, given the fact that the governor is already halfway into his last term and he made that promise. So I'm so happy that you are part of it. Let's make it happen sooner rather than later. While we are waiting for, I know you said you didn't get my question correctly. I said during your inauguration or in one location, the governor made a statement that we want to make Edo State the art and culture capital of Nigeria.
Okay, yes.
I'm asking a question now. To which extent do you agree with this? And if you do, what is the plan? When are we going to begin to see this come to fruition?
Well, let me throw something back at you. Number one, I agree 100%, okay, with that statement. So think about this, right? When you think of the United Arab Emirates, which one, where do you always think of? Which particular?
Dubai.
Okay, so think about it from that standpoint. Even though we have the UAE, Dubai stands out. And so what we're saying is that even though we have Nigeria, very soon, Edo will stand out. We are going to be a subnational that will lead the country forward. That's what that statement is all about. His Excellency is putting things in place that will make Edo State stand out from Nigeria as the place to be, as the tourism and culture capital of Nigeria. And as I said before, we're strategically located to make this happen. So why not? Why can't we really take Edo? I mean, think about it. Edo history, the great Benin Kingdom. Think about the culture, the history, the heritage of the Benin Empire. Think about the diversity of culture we have in Edo State. Think about the topography, these heritage sites, the culture sites that we have in Edo State. Frankly, there's no reason why we shouldn't already be, the culture capital of Nigeria, and I would even say of the world. Because if you look at our history, we can compete with anybody. We can compete with Rome. We can compete with anybody in the world. And everybody's been taking advantage of their heritage to drive revenue. And we have not done so. So I think it's high time we started leveraging our rich history, our colorful culture and heritage to bring tourists to come and enjoy Edo State and generate the revenue, much needed revenue that Edo State can bring us. So that's really what it's about,
Thank Thank you very much, Honorable Commissioner. I want to appeal to our viewers. The lines are still open. Please ring in to ask your question. The Commissioner is with us, even though he's talking to us from a place that's not very comfortable, but he has given us his time. Really appreciate that. Comrade Lamte, your next question for Honorable Commissioner, please.
Honorable Commissioner, I want to commend you seriously for something that is standing out, and I think this honestly touches me, as an Edo man and as an Edo state man, and somebody who is very pro-culture. Recently, I read in the papers that you made application to the governor of Edo State that we should have culture clubs across secondary schools in Edo State. And the governor delightfully, approved it. I think that is it's a beautiful thing, honestly. But I want to ask you, I remember when we were growing up, we used to have our own local languages taught in school. Edo language was being taught in school in those days.
That's right.
But not too long ago, when we interviewed the Commissioner for Education, she confirmed that that particular exercise is no longer taking place. Though she did explain that the Ministry of Education is looking into that. But as a arts and culture, basically, I think this, partly falls under your purview. And I mean, having initiated the idea that we should have culture clubs across schools, have you actually thought of having, Edo, languages taught in schools?
Well, that would be more under the Commissioner of Education's purview. Now, my feeling on it is that it is imperative that we retain our language, our various languages within Edo State. Now, it may not have to be formally done through the schools, because right now I think there's a push to give our students the skills they need to move forward and be able to earn a very good income. At the end of the day, you want to be able to put out productive youth that can stand on their own and feed their families and help their families. Now, that doesn't mean that we should put aside the language skills, because at the end of the day, I believe that Edo culture should be the anchor. I'm bringing my children back from the United States because I want them to know Nigeria and know where they come from. Have a strong foundation in the roots, in their cultural roots. So I understand the importance of making sure you retain your language, retain your customs and your traditions. It's something I very strongly believe in, but we have to be able to do it in a balanced manner. Sorry, let me see, somebody's calling me. Sorry.
Okay,
yes. Sorry. So, we need to be able to do it in a balanced manner. And for example, in my hometown of Asasa, we have a group that is focused on languages. We even do it through Facebook and WhatsApp groups, where we have exercise to teach our Asasa language so that we don't lose that very fundamental part of our culture. So I think there are ways we can do it. And with the advent of technology, there's no reason why. I mean, somebody has created a Yoruba app. My wife was teaching our kids Yoruba, in the US, because we're able to get this app. So there are ways to do this, and we need to think outside the box on how to best do this without putting pressure on an already overburdened school system. So I will really defer this answer to the Commissioner for Education, because I don't want to step on her toes. But at the end of the day, I believe strongly that we should definitely not only retain our languages, but celebrate them as well. So it's just, how do we do this efficiently? That really is the question.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Commissioner. To be honest with you, I strongly believe, that the most important component of culture is language. And as we speak, as a people, we are fast losing that, particularly with many of us being exposed to the diaspora world, the diaspora and all of that. So it's becoming, but let's take this caller and then come back.
Which flight is this?
Hello.
Thanks.
Hello. Yeah, good evening, sir. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Dr. Kumbo. I'm calling from United Arab Emirates.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I want to speak to the Honorable Commissioner.
Go ahead. He can hear you.
Good evening, Honorable Commissioner from Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates. Quite exciting to have you on this stage. We are good for the privilege to have you talk to us directly. The question I have is, I think in the last administration, the key positions in Benin, particularly around Ring Road, many historical monuments were molded and put in place. And these are part of our cultural heritage, historical cultural heritage. But the last time I was in Benin, and for some time now, we found out that most of those monuments have been damaged. And they are not really, I don't know why there was ever a maintenance arrangement for them. Even the protection that was built around them damaged, and they remain like that. And it becomes very ugly, unpresentable. That firstly, as beautiful as they were when they were put in place, there was no maintenance, and it remained like that thing for years now. I want to know what is your ministry going to do about a maintenance culture for these things? Because we know, naturally, we as Nigerians are very poor in maintenance. Yes. And if tourism is our goal, when tourists come to Benin, along Ring Road, the most central part of the city, and meet our own monuments used by us, for us, in a dilapidated state, and nothing is done about it. So that's my question. How would you go about getting this restrict and maintain? I believe people enlightenment is very key. It's one thing for government to do something in respect of people, where the people are not aware of the value of this.
Yes.
I don't know how you're going to handle this issue of enlightenment and preservation of this monument. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kumbawa. Go ahead, sir.
Wow. That, you know what, he asked a question that is at the heart of one of my biggest, I guess, things that I deal with in trying to adjust back home. He mentioned that lack of maintenance culture that we have here. It's not just at those states, it's across the country. And he also made mention of the fact that the government can be doing things for the people, and yet the people don't even truly appreciate what the government is providing. So, I mean, he that's just a fantastic question. So my answer to that is when I got the organogram for the ministry, one of the first things that I felt was needed was a department of reorientation. You know, earlier I mentioned that I quickly realized that the Edo State that I see today is not the Edo, or I was going to say Bendel when I was growing up here, that I grew up in. I feel like there's been a deviation from our proud Edo culture. Those days we didn't celebrate criminality. Those days, you know, parents didn't, it wasn't always about money, quick money, right? So I understand things are hard in this country. But one of the first things I suggested was a department of reorientation, where we will begin to sensitize the public, our Edo public, where we begin to catch the youth before they get involved in different vices. We hear of cultism and ritual killings and yahoo and prostitution. There's a lot that we have to unpack, you know, analyze and find answers to. And so one of the things, you know, to answer your question is to come up with a department that I call reorientation, getting us back to who we are as Edo people. You mentioned the damaged, cultural sites, even the moat. You go to the moat, people have been tossing trash in our, great moats of Benin Empire. So there's a lot that we have to do. At some point along the way, we stopped valuing ourselves as a people. I see it in the way people treat each other. I see it in the way we are aggressive towards one another, and that just has to change. Even the wonderful buildings, the secretariat buildings that His Excellency came and constructed for us. I have a more beautiful office in Benin City than I had in the US, you know? So that's just to say that the government is really trying, but that same office I walk through every day, people are throwing rubbish everywhere. The beautiful lights and landscape, people are just treating it anyhow. They've broken the lights in front. I see these things and it bothers me, but the people there they turn a blind eye or they don't even see some of these problems. So I find myself continuously telling the people, no, you don't drop that trash, pick it up. Don't put your feet on the walls, you know? But we have to, you know, to your point, we have to educate, we have to sensitize the people. And I keep telling people, we are all owners of Edo. And how people see Edo is how we're going to present it. So until we take that ownership stance and have that culture of being proudly Edo, nothing is going to change. And I would go further to say it even makes my job a lot more difficult if we don't beautify Edo. You know, I was about to start pushing the hashtag Beautify Benin because that's our capital. If we want tourists to come there, we have to present a Benin and Edo state that will leave people in awe and have them selling Edo state to foreigners. That you must come back, you have to go to Edo, things are happening there. So we have a lot of projects we're working on, you know. We're doing a Beautify project, we're greening the city. His Excellency has started the initiative that on every child's birthday, they must plant a tree. We have plans in place to plant, as you know, a lot of trees. I can't remember what, I think it was 100,000 or 1 million trees. We're doing a lot to green Edo State, to beautify the city, because that's what's going to be fundamental in having a strong foundation for tourism. You know, nobody wants to go to a place that's dirty. So I hope that at least gives you a little insight into what we're strategizing to do and our plans moving forward.
Yeah, Honorable Commissioner, while you've made effort to answer this, I'm not sure you quite answered the man's question, at least not to my own satisfaction. If I could, break it down, when he talked about, some of the heritage sites, he actually was referring to, we have a lot of, sculptural pieces across the state, sculpture, works across the state. Many of them are dilapidated now because there's been no maintenance and all of that. Under your ministry, what are the exact plans? Probably with a timeline, to introduce some sort of maintenance culture so that these things can be there. I do remember I visited Nigeria. I think it was in 2019 or so, and somebody came with me from Lagos, to Benin. Accompanied me to Benin. And, we saw some of our I think it was around Uselu. There's a big, sculpture of one of the Obas. The thing had fallen to the ground and all of that. And it was quickly noticed by this visitor who had not been to Edo State before. And, he complained that, man, how would we allow, these beautiful, works to, just be littering everywhere like that? And so we have a few of them across the state. What are your exact plans, probably with a timeline, to deal with these?
Okay, you're talking specifically about the sculptures and the artwork throughout the state. It's too early for me to give you an answer on that, because that's a very specific subject matter that you brought up. Overall, I have recognized really what's at the heart of this poor maintenance culture. And we have to educate, we have to sensitize, because if that's not done, no matter the millions of naira or dollars we spend to bring these pieces back to what they were, they will only be destroyed again. So not to trivialize the seriousness of this situation, it is something that needs to be dealt with. But I cannot give you an answer because really I have not put that plan into place. What I put into place is to sensitize our people to the need for beautifying our city. And along with beautifying our city is to put those monuments and those sculptures, the artwork, back to the former glory. So, but as far as a direct plan for, going back and repairing, there's nothing in place as of yet.
Okay.
But the question is well noted.
Thank you very much. I mean, just to, Former Assistant Remember, before you come on, we have somebody, Moses Dokbolo, on Facebook. It's an advice, and I think it's a beautiful one. He said, Honorable Commissioner, he said, let us set up a competition, street beautification, best street of the month. I'm adding some little to it now. We win a cow, something like that for the street to share. It's
a great idea
for people to take responsibility for, beautification and cleanliness. You may take
that's
that
a wonderful
on
idea. No, that's a wonderful idea, and I know Moses very well. So that's a great idea. I'll reach out to him to flesh out that idea.
Lovely. Over to you, Former Assistant Remnant.
Yeah, let me also thank Moses Obaitan for suggesting that. I think it's laudable, and for the commissioner to think of reaching out to him. I also want to say something, because I have learned a thing or two today, and I think that ministry is very strategic. In addition to that disruption, following from the question that Dr. Okumbawa asked, I think we should also push for prosecution, because what has happened over time is when people get away with it, it becomes a norm.
Yes.
If people that are doing this damage to this edifice are caught and they are prosecuted and people know, it may also serve as a deterrent.
I agree. I agree completely.
Absolutely, we need to do that. Then, in the course of your asking the question, you said you want to tread cautiously with other ministry. But having listened to you today, I think your ministry has a hand in education, your ministry has a hand in sports, and your ministry has a hand in health, because all these are very important. So I think at some point, there must be interaction from your ministry, these other ministries, and if possible, put them under some form of pressure, because, like you said, culture is everything, and this is very, very, very important. I used to know that you have the Benin, when I was in Edo State, we used to have the Edo State culture, the troop dance, and all that stuff. Please try to see if that can be brought back. You said something in the course of your answering other questions. You said something about the youths. I want to zero in on the youths. They are the future of society. They are the future for tomorrow. What plan is the ministry having for the youths? I know if I ask you sports, you may say it for the sports ministry. But those days we used to have governor's cup, principal's cup. It may not be under your purview, but it may be a form of advice. So other than sports, what other things are we planning for the youth to take them off the street and take them off vices so that we can build a good culture? If you don't have any plan now, you may well let us know. But if you do, it's good to let people know, or probably take it back to the ministry for re-strategizing.
No, actually, you know what? We have plans in place. You had a lot of come out and join and compete for the prizes, and I was very honored and pleased to be able to get a donation from the Rasula Foundation, and we're able to make some youths very happy with the cash prizes. First place dance troupe walked away with 500,000 naira. Second place walked away with 300,000, and third place 200,000. So there are plans in place to definitely engage the youth. That's at the heart of what I'm about. As far as the educational side, to your point, culture is at the heart of everything. And like I said before, it's how we live, right? It's what we accept as our norms and values. So yes, even with Edo jobs, the training initiatives, all these opportunities that are being presented by His Excellency, we are not working in silos at our ministries. So just because I say I don't want to tread on somebody's toes does not mean that I'm not in constant communication with the commissioners. Trust me, if you know who I am, you will know that from roads and bridges to education to health, I'm constantly on their necks. So, because you know me, I'm moving with the urgency of now. Because I've come and I'm like, I'm seeing what Edo could be. I have this vision of what Edo could be. And when things are getting held up, I have a hard time understanding. I'm always like, oh, okay, when's this going to happen? What's the timeline? And one of the things I hear in Nigeria all the time is, bros, this is Nigeria, we don't move that fast. So you have to understand, I'm trying to work and push and prod the system to act as quickly as possible. But things are in place. I can tell you wholeheartedly that the governors, commissioners are very collaborative in nature. We are constantly talking. We have deployed technology. We know what each other is doing. We celebrate our successes. When things don't work out as well as they should, we help lift the wings together, and we get up and we move forward. So, definitely the youth, again, are the center of what I'm about. So from, I mentioned earlier, the YouTube channel, to reach out to content creators. Again, could be youth, could be adults. Some things that we're planning, like there's a teen summit. I just spoke to Mr. Charles Novia, who has he's a fabulous gentleman, and he's been doing this teen summit. It's always done in Abuja or Lagos. I convinced him recently to bring it to Edo, and his demographic is a very youth we're talking about. There's so many other things that I have up my sleeve. I don't want to say too much right now. I want to leave some element of surprise for Edolites, but trust me, the youth are the heart of everything I do, and we are definitely addressing some of these things.
Thank you very much, Honorable Commissioner. I hope this last question is not part of the secrets you want to keep. There is no game saying the obvious that Nollywood is at the heart of everything we do in Nigeria, and those state people are leading. In fact, it's on record, apart from the segment of the East, that the last chunk of directors and producers are from Edo State. Are you talking with them? What discussion do you have with the Nollywood gurus? The likes of, even I dare say, Opeoba, Lancelot, Udua, Imaswe, and many other producers. Are you engaging with them? Because we need to capture.
Well, you know what, my brother, it means you have not been following the ministry's Facebook page, because I met with Lancelot Imaswe. I have talked to others about why are they not filming in Edo State. I can tell you, I'm going for a screening that Lancelot Imaswe is having on a movie that is shot entirely in Edo State. So that very question that you just brought up is something that I'm also working on. I'm trying to bring all these Edo giants back to Edo and bring opportunity to Edo State artists, to actors, whatever that may be, to also bring jobs and opportunity to our people in Edo State. We're even talking about a film village, to create something for, just to make it conducive for producers, filmmakers to come to Edo to shoot their movies there. So these are all things that are in planning stages, and hopefully will execute flawlessly to the wonderment and amazement of Edo Lights Worldwide.
Lovely.
Thank you, Honorable Commissioner. To our viewers, the lines are still open. It's been the Honorable Commissioner for Arts and Culture, Edo State, Honorable Mr. Pharmacist Oluwabamidele Obaitan. I must say that for the last few minutes that we've talked, I really cherish and admire your simplicity. And I think a lot of our viewers will also share that. And to a very large extent, you've been very honest, even with very difficult questions. And hopefully with the permission of the CNC, I think we haven't had enough of you yet. Hopefully when you stay more in the saddle, we'll be looking forward to bringing you again to ask you a few more questions. But I want to ask our viewers, the lines are still open, and I will push you to Commander Araki if he has more questions for you.
Yes, Honorable Commissioner, I do have a question. When you were addressing, you were addressing Nigerians on the World Dance Day, something caught my attention. This was reported, by Tribune. I'm going to start. I'm going to try to make it as convenient as possible. Not too long ago, the governor of Edo State was out and about discussing a MOWA, the Edo Museum of West African Art. And the Benin artifact, was at the crux of the matter.
Okay.
And of course, the issue of the way the governor went about it was raised by the palace, and somehow we've not heard anything from the government side. And I think people actually thought that a MOWA was no longer a moving trend because of, the hitches and all of that developed the process at the time. But recently, when we were addressing, people on this, the World Dance Day, you talked about a MOWA and, of course, the vision of the governor to get a MOWA going. Now, my question is, because prior to this time, our idea was that a MOWA was going to be made up of, the content was going to be made up of Benin, artifacts, majorly abroad, that are being expected to be returned. And now it looked like the artifacts are settled to be returned to the palace of the Oba of Benin. Now, if the government of Edo State is still, and the government is still floating a MOWA, so what is actually the agenda? What is that going to make up a MOWA? I don't people should be aware. You should know a bit of what you know, because you talked about it as reported by Tribune.
Well, what I can say, right? MOWA will happen for sure. We're going to have a museum that's going to be in Benin, that's going to anchor. It's going to be an anchor for tourism. It's going to be a pride of all Edo citizens worldwide, So it's still going to happen. Now, the artifact situation, that is something that I don't know the details of. But what I can tell you is that the museum will be built. It will be beautiful. It will make Edo people proud worldwide. And a museum is a place where you go to look at, appreciate, and kind of, how would I say, immerse yourself in artwork. So MOA will still happen. MOA will carry artworks. I don't know what will be there exactly, but I can assure you that it's going to happen. So that's all I can tell you right now.
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable Commissioner. It is often said that the white people, the Europeans came, they took our artifacts, but not our craft.
Exactly.
As a young boy growing up in Benin City, I don't know if you remember the popular Igun Street.
Oh, yes.
No, Igun Street.
Yes.
That is a center of our culture. It is said that that street and the people that do business there have been neglected.
That's right.
I also want to ask another question. Glad you are from the Edo, not Edo State. There used to be the popular Ososo Hills. So two questions together. What is your plan for our craft and art in Igu Street and the Ososo Hills?
Probably some others across the state.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, we are cataloging all these different tourism sites, and there's some things that I'm going to deploy on a technological standpoint to sell all these sites to the world as places that must be visited. Before I got this appointment, I had already started with some youths that were very, very enterprising. We worked together to start the visit ososo.com.ng website. If you go and look on the internet, you can just put in visit ososo.com.ng. You will see the website there. And that was something I was working on along with a team of youth to bring tourism back to the Ososo Hill. Because obviously that's where I'm from. We have trained tour guides. During the holiday period, we have the Ososo Carnival that takes place. We have the project Independence to Ososo festivities that take place. So there's a lot that we've been doing that I was even involved in before this appointment came to me as a blessing. So now I've taken that very focused scope that I had of Ososo, and I'm now leveraging that across the state. So to your question, we are cataloging all these sites. We're going to promote these sites using technology, and we're going to beautify these sites. These are all in planning stages right now. So that's really how much I can tell you right now. Hopefully you'll bring me back, because this has been a wonderful opportunity to talk to Edo people worldwide, and I appreciate that opportunity. So hopefully you'll bring me back and I can give you a status update, at a later date.
Any word on Igun?
Say that again.
Igun Street.
Yes. That also.
Okay.
No, that also is in planning. Yes.
Thank you so much, Honorable Commissioner. The lines are still open. People,
I think we have a caller. Let's just take the caller and hello.
Excuse me, guys.
Is that your flight now?
Is that Max Air? Max Air to Benin?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, Pastor Edison, yes. Go ahead, sir. What's your question?
Yeah, my question, Honorable Commissioner, the last time I visited Benin in November, and I visited the National Museum. It baffled me to see that the water fountain that was spent millions of naira is not functioning. You were added to some. I don't know if you have visited them since you became a commissioner.
Are you sorry, sir? Are you saying the National Museum?
Yeah, the National Museum, Comrade Adas Aliu administration built a water fountain.
The National Museum, or the one in? Are you talking about the one in Benin?
I don't understand what you mean by National Museum, but Adamuso more or less and National Museum. I don't know how they are related. Particularly talking about the
I'm
state.
asking a question.
Go ahead, sir.
Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Now, Comrade Adas Aliu built a water fountain. National Museum at Ring Road.
Oh, the Benin Museum.
Yeah, that's what I said. So
when I visited Benin in November,
okay.
I discovered that the water fountain is no longer functioning.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know if the commissioner has visited because it was a center of attraction in Benin. I don't know if you have been there. Have a look and see how that place can be refurbished.
Okay, thank you very much for your question. Honorable Commissioner, when Oshomole was governor at first term, the Benin Museum, he did beautify it. And of course, there was this water fountain, it was a beautiful sight at night. But it didn't work for a very long time. And that has not been sustained. So the man is asking if you have any plans concerning that.
Honestly, I've not been to that location, and I don't have any plans at this point. This is what I'm talking about. We cannot put the cat before the horse. Okay, what I've gone around Benin and what I've seen, all these millions of naira get spent on these projects. And they're beautiful, and sometimes it makes people feel good. But until the people are prepared to understand that they own these projects and they cannot sit by and let people vandalize and destroy these infrastructures that are put up for them. It's like taking money and just, setting a match to it. Yeah. And that's why I keep saying this. We have to get to the heart of the matter, which is reorientation. Our people are rough with things that are, created or brought to them by the government. The little things that we have, we spend, money is tight right now. The country is, in a tough economic situation. So when government comes and they build some infrastructure for you, you have to protect it like it's your own, because, in all honesty, it's yours. It's your taxpayer money that was used to build that. Yeah. And so we have a segment of the population that it appears to be their thing, their, motivation is to go and destroy things that are being built by government for the people. So the people need to take a stance and say, we can no longer sit by and watch you destroy the little infrastructure that we have. We have to take ownership. Edo belongs to all of us. Until we start doing that, we really have to be careful how we spend money. So again, I'm taking a note of that. You mentioned a fountain at the Benin Museum, but that's something I have to give you a status update on at a later date.
Yeah. All right, Honorable Commissioner, thank you very much. This one is on a very light note.
Okay.
2 questions in one. Mm-hmm. What is your relationship, off duty with the governor of Edo State, and how do you unwind, particularly having left the US and you are now, in Nigeria, of course, dispensing, duties on, the ministry. So how do you unwind, given all of this you've been talking about?
Well, my relationship with the governor is my boss. He's my boss. He's when I jumped on the governor's bandwagon, that's from even before his first term, I saw him as a good man who really cared about the people. And
can you share a secret? Does the governor drink?
You know what? That's a great question. You know what? I have not. Does he drink? I'm thinking back. You know what? That will have to be a status update. No, I think every once in a while he will enjoy something light. But on a serious note, the man really cares about the people.
Yeah.
I can tell you, and maybe I don't know if I'm even allowed to say this, but I'm going to take a risk and say it. At our exco meetings, the governor, the one common thing with the governor and how he wants us as heads of our different ministries to run our affairs is he always comes back to how does this affect the people at the community level? When we're going to do politics, it's always about the people. And so from afar, I saw this about him. You know what? I wasn't wrong. Governor really cares about the people. He really cares about Edo citizens, and you can see it in his body language. You can see it in his policies. You can see it in the fact that people get paid, pensioners, civil servants. Okay, we're back. Okay.
Yes.
So everybody salary gets paid on time as at when due. That really says a lot about the man. And the only thing I can say is that I wish he would at some point run for president of this country, because I say this a lot, and I sound like a broken record. Anywhere you go in the world, Nigerians are at the top of all sectors, be it medicine, pharmacy, architects, attorneys. Nigerians worldwide are achievers. So, a lot of times you look at the president of our country, and there's a huge gap between what we know Nigerians to be and what our leaders have been. So, as a litmus test, I would just love to see somebody at the helm of affairs that correlates to the strong Nigerian achievers across the world. So let me stop there.
So how do you unwind on the last note?
How do I unwind?
Yes.
I work out. I like to, I go to the gym, lift weights, I read, I listen to music, and every once in a while, this old man has to get up and dance. I love to dance.
I see that. Well, yeah. Honorable Commissioner, thank you so very much. Yes, over to you,
Yeah, thank you so much, Honorable Commissioner. I want to thank all viewers of the coverage show today. I think we've been very lucky, given the fact that you are talking to us right from the airport, and we've been very fortunate with network. That's a true testament of yourself and this show and what God wants you to let Edo State people know today.
Amen.
I think it's an unending conversation. By the time you get more into your ministry in the next few months, by the time we call you back again, say another 6 months or a year, you have more information to share with Edolite. It's great. And I just want to echo something you said. Maybe a praise to the governor. You said, and I want to re-echo to our viewers, that your current office is better in looks, in stature, more than what it was in the Americans. Anyway,
exactly.
By the time we zoom the coverage show lens to your office to see if that is true. But I believe it's true because I know you are honest. Please,
yes.
Remember Edo State and continue to push the good narrative. Just before you go, so you don't miss your flight, I'm going to ask you 2 questions and I will tell you the order with which you have to answer them. One only question. We are in the season of declaration. I think you can be a good president. Do you have any plan to make a declaration and pick up your form to be president of Nigeria? That is one. Then the last question, just before we leave you, just a final word of advice or commendation to Edolites.
Okay, as far as running for president of the country, we would have to amend the constitution to allow me to, because last I read, you have to have been born in Nigeria to run for presidency. So that's not in the works for me, okay? So that's the answer to that one. And then my advice to Edolites worldwide is, number one, we come from a very proud Edo culture. Please do not forget where you came from. You are the sons and daughters of royalty. So we must carry ourselves as such. We must be ambassadors of Edo State. You know, in everywhere we go, in everything we do, in how we treat ourselves and other people. So let's make sure that we carry ourselves accordingly, okay? And as far as for Nigeria as a country, please do not give up on Nigeria. Nigeria is a beautiful country with beautiful people, and I really believe in Nigeria. It's just gonna take a while to get things going back on track. But Nigeria, don't give up on Nigeria. Nigeria will be great again.
Thank you so much, Honorable Commissioner, for your last word. Just to paraphrase, I think it was Shakespeare that said, "Man, be and know thyself." Today you have said that all Edolites should be and know themselves and know
themselves.
Thank you so very much. It's been awesome time with you. On that note, I want to thank all Comrade Show viewers who stand with us every Sunday, 5 p.m. on this special segment of the Comrade Show that we always call the Comrade and Friends. For those that have made calls today, I want to say thank you to Pastor Edison, all the way from United Kingdom, and also Dr. Osayemere Okumbawa, all the way from the United Arab Emirates. Thank you so much for being part and parcel of the show. I remain your friend, Comrade Pharmacist Augustine Iremiran. I'll pass the baton now to my CNC to do the final razzmatazz. Stay out of trouble and remain good until we come your way again next time. Comrade Lamte.
Yes, thank you very much, Comrade Pharmacist Augustine Iremiran. Honorable Commissioner, we thank you very much for the time you've given us today. Hopefully, like Pharmacist said, we'll wait, give some time for you to consolidate on some of the things, you know, the plans you have, and definitely we're going to bring you here. But I must say one thing, you know, the governor took time to, you know, set up his cabinet. You know, some commissioners, the first batch of commissioners were named nearly a year into his second term administration, and the next batch was named after. And I mean, listening to you talk, I probably see the reasons why, some of the reasons why the governor had to take so much time to fish out, you know, those he considered the best. And we can see from what, from the way you are speaking, you know, the governor really went out, you know, a long way to search for the best ones for the job. And we can only wish you well, you know, hope, pray that you do very well. But count the Comrade Show as partner in progress as far as Edo State is concerned. You know, we'll partner with you, we'll work with you, you know, and with the government of Edo State all the way to make Edo State a better place. But on the last note from me, you probably would need to take this one to the governor of Edo State. The tourism agency and the diaspora agency, these two agencies are very key, they are important, they should be flying now. And as the commissioner under whose purview these agencies are going to be named, we hope that you take a word to the governor that we want the DGs of these agencies to be named as soon as possible so that things can start moving very fast. On that note, those state people across the world, thank you very much for joining us. It's been a Comrade show. It's been a Sunday tonic. We'll be with you again. Bye for now.